Cricket season is over for another year, and as players pack away their bats and pads, they've got all winter to reminisce on the season's triumphs and disasters. Very few of them, though, will have memories to compare with a Bristol team, the Easton Cowboys, who've just returned from a tour of perhaps the last place on earth you'd imagine anyone would play cricket. Compton in central Los Angeles is one of America's most notorious ghettos. Yet there's a thriving cricket team whose coach believes the game teaches kids all they need in life. This is the story of two inner-city communities finding hope through cricket. Easton, in the centre of Bristol, has links with cricket that stretch back to the legendary Dr. W.G. Grace, who had a surgery in the area. But the Easton Cowboys play a particular kind of cricket.
It's not like a traditional form of cricket, and I think it's very difficult to play cricket when you're in the inner city. I was in Totterdown yesterday, and there's some kids on the street with cricket bat and some gloves and a ball. So to encourage that kind of sport in the inner cities, I think is also one of the ideals behind it all.
They practice in a pub yard and have no ground to call their own.
I mean, we would love to be the Easton Cowboys playing in Easton, both the football and the cricket team, but obviously the space, you know, is a premium around there. There just isn't any space for a sports ground, so sadly we have to go to Hengrove.
USA! 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 USA!
The unlikely tour came about when the Compton team, called the Homies and the Pops, toured the UK last year.
Yeah. You reckon you can teach the English a few things or two?
Yeah, I sure hope so. This is an English sport, so we're going to give it our all. We just want to go out there and just play our best, you know, try to win a couple games at least.
The Easton Cowboys see themselves as a force for good, not only in their own backyard, but abroad as well. When they toured Mexico, they raised enough money to provide clean water for a village, and the trip to Los Angeles is about more than just sport.
Basically, I think part of the whole deal is that we're going there because we've always had this brief that we want to try and go places that don't normally see cricket. And that's, I'd say, a large part of the reason why we're going to America, really.
I think Mark saw the Compton come to MCC, and we were thinking of a new place to tour to, and he emailed them, and the idea came out of that, really.
The whole tour started with the BBC website. On the website there was a news article about the Compton Cricket Club touring the UK in September 1999. So I read the story, and next to the story there were associated links, and one of the links took me to the Californian Cricket Association. So I went to this website, and from this website I had email addresses for the cricket teams in California, and I emailed the Compton Cricket Club and began from there.
In this day and age, Los Angeles is just a mouse click away, but in every other sense, Compton is a world away from Easton. The community live with a level of violence unimaginable in this country. Its streets are home to 50,000 people living rough, the equivalent population of Taunton. Yet this is where the Williams sisters learnt to play tennis, and where Ted Hayes sees a better future through cricket.
Cricket, whether you're a pro or an amateur, it's a whole lifestyle. What you learn in the etiquette of on the oval, and an actual intense competitive spirit, you transition off or translate off or transfer off the pitch beyond the boundary onto the street. No other sport, to my knowledge, has that kind of a in-depth levels of etiquette. It's teaching us how to be civilized.
Compton! Cricket! Compton! Cricket! USA! USA! USA!
Ted demands total loyalty from his team and kicks out anybody he suspects of being a gang member. But these are not your average cricketers.
Kerr's been in and out of prison, like most a lot of black men out there all his life. This is the longest Curtis has been out of prison. It's 3 years now. It's the longest he's ever been out of prison.
Back in the West Country, the Easton Cowboys, playing their last game of the season against Wells, have little idea what lies in store for them.
One of the things that did attract us about going to California was the fact that we're playing an inner-city team.
I think it's a great opportunity to sort of meet up with similar people in the inner city, to play them, to share a good time, you know, and good for us individually, like, you know what I mean, to get out of our usual sort of environments and you know, a chance to relax and enjoy ourselves.
Compton, it's East LA, it's where the riots happened, I think, near where that went down, so I'm expecting a little bit run down, a little bit burnt out cars on the corners, but not too bad really. I think it'll be all right. I think that, I mean, those people, I think they'll be fine. As a cricket team, I think they'll be quite good, really. I'm a bit worried about that. It might be embarrassing. But we shall see.
The cricketing Cowboys are an offshoot of the Easton Cowboys Football Club, whose base for the past 8 years has been the Plough in the heart of Easton. Landlord and community leader Cliff Bailey was a founder member of the Cowboys and remains an enthusiastic supporter.
These lads, they're adventurous. Very, very adventurous. They've had trips and trips and trips and trips in the past. Now this one is taking them into a different planet, which is USA. It's just fantastic. They have created a platform for many who had nothing to stand on previously. They've created something that they all could look forward to. They're good leaders, they're good navigators. I would see them as a role model for the youngsters who chooses to participate in the sports in which they specialize in.
Scraping the money together for the tour has been a long and difficult struggle. Some money has come in from local businesses like the Essential Trading Cooperative, who employ several players, including Dick Collins.
They agreed to put £500 up towards the cricket tour.
The rest of the money has come from sponsored bike rides, raffles and the players' own pockets.
Most of the fundraising for the tour is to help support people who are on low wages, or, you know, some people are taking their kids with.
Yeah, it's Duncan.
Hi. A heavy-duty
Team captain Duncan Brewood has also begged what equipment he can off local sports shops to give to the Compton homies.
Right. Yeah. Well, the whole team's going?
The whole team and our entourage, yeah, it'll be about 25 people.
That should be good.
Well, we hope it's going to be good.
Hope you
Not
can
worth
have
going
a
if it
good
ain't
time
good.
there.
Yeah, we will, yeah.
Yeah, and play some cricket as well.
Yeah, it's a strange concept going to the States to play cricket, but yeah, we'll pull it off. We'll pull it off. Excellent. That's very kind of you.
OK, well, I'll get you by.
All right.
It's been a real community effort.
There's some cricket stuff.
Yeah, we have, indeed. You thought of left-handers as well. That's fantastic. Yeah, that's excellent. That's really good, thanks. Yeah. And thank you. It will. Thanks a lot.
After a year's planning, it's 4 in the morning and they're finally off. All in all, 28 people are on their way to Los Angeles.
Who is it?
We've got wall-to-wall bunks, as you can see. It's very, very untidy. It's like we've been here 3 months. But apart from that, yeah, it's all right.
Rats. There's been the odd rat and a couple of funny insects, like, you know.
Okay.
But then at least it's a partner to go to bed with, like, you know, that's something.
It's the morning after the flight before, and the Cowboys are getting their bearings.
Sort of wild place, isn't it? Crazy bit. Like, it's just good fun, like, you know. It's plenty of entertainment. I'm going to get my shorts and towel now. Jet lag. That's the one. No, wait, freshen us up, isn't it?
It's a good.
Yeah,
it's
quick
good
dip in the
thinking.
Pacific.
Yeah.
Los Angeles is a huge city of nearly 500 square miles and 3.5 million people.
Guys, I think the convoy split up for certain.
The Cowboys are struggling to find their way to Compton.
Take the next left. Take the next left and then you should get onto Motor. Go left. Go left and now we go. I think this is something about...
1, down, up, 2, down, up, 3.
According to Ted, the Homies and the Pops are the first American-born cricket team since 1925.
They let me out of jail early.
US cricket used to be the preserve of English expats, and it probably would have stayed that way if it hadn't been for Ted's partner, film producer Katie Haber.
It started with a total fluke. Actually, the captain of the Beverly Hills cricket team, who they're playing on Sunday, rang me up and said, we're short of players this weekend. Is anybody in the BAFTA team who can play? And I said, oh, I'm sure I can find someone. And I called up, and there was nobody available. So I said to Ted, do you want to play cricket on Saturday? He said, what's cricket?
I've never seen a cricket ball or cricket bat or cricket game.
And I said, well, it's like baseball, but you, instead of running around in circles, you run up and down. He said, I can't do that. I said, please, I promise.
I said, all right, whatever. Go hang out with these people from Beverly Hills and play cricket.
So he went and played, and he loved it, absolutely loved the game.
There's all these dudes standing around in their white cricket outfits, and they see me get out of the car. And I have my bag, and I'm walking over to the field. And all these British guys walk up to me with awe and reverence. And they're like, you know, trembling as they asked me, do you bat or do you bowl? I'm like, what are these guys talking about? And why the reverence? And come to find out later, they thought that I was a West Indian, Jamaican pro ringer coming to play.
Eventually, the Cowboys meet up with the Homies and the Pops.
Well, we got here. Complete and utter chaos. But here we are.
Say who you are. Just say who you are.
I'm Jim. I'm born and bred in Bristol. I wanted to come here for 2 weeks and particularly come here to Compton and play with our Cowboys against your lot. Cheers.
My name's Ian. I live in Bristol now. I'm originally from Wales. And it's really good to be here. Cheers. Yeah.
I'm Sal and I do the scoring on the cricket matches, and usually it amps up at the end.
1, 2, 3, 4, Bristol! 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and stop!
For those folks, it's going to stand out in their mind, the level of violence that we have to live with in this community. I mean, so much so that we had to have a police escort. Do you guys get police escorts when you have to practice in Bristol? Do they get it? Do they get police escorts, follow them to the house of a... We had a police escort to sit out there, you know. I had to call the sheriffs and tell them that we had this thing going on.
Match day, and Duncan Brewood arrives with the equipment donated by Bristol sports shops.
So in here you'll find all sorts of goodies, including the balls we're going to play with. Use it, abuse it, do what you like with it, but play cricket with it. Enjoy it.
Yeah, thank you.
It's the best game in the world.
Thank you.
Whoa, check it out. Yeah, we hope we can keep it in a big hand.
Oh, we got a helmet.
Hey, check this out. Yeah, boy. We don't need this, though. We don't need this. Compton. Great.
There's no pitch in Compton, so the game is played out of town in 108 degrees heat.
Quarter.
Hold. Heads.
Whoa, hands, baby.
You're the man.
You know the back? Yeah. Good. Have at it. You don't have to win by a lot, okay, to win this match. It's a test on our endurance, our ability to be tough, competitive athletes, but have the attitude that we all talk about. You know what I'm talking about? That up attitude, the positive attitude, the attitude that keeps us alive. This is our chance here to really develop ourselves in a major way.
Well, hopefully we bowl them out quick, so we have about 8 overs.
We're going to bowl them out.
Heat.
We're going to bowl them out in the first 3 overs.
Are we 50s, sisters, or are we men? This is going to be the test. How many homies back in Compton can do what you do here today without complaining? So, no complaining, swallow it, be men.
Have a game. Good game, right? Yeah. Have a game. Back at you. Have a good game. Take it like that.
Cricket, it's a dance. When you see one baseball pitcher, you've pretty much seen them all. But when you see a bowler, they're like, each one is as different as a fingerprint. When you see one American batter, right hand or left hand, it's always the same basic stroke. With cricket, there's a whole feet motion dance there that goes on. Walking in with the batsman, all those kinds of things. It's a moving, living game, it's a thinking game. But most importantly, it's the etiquette of the game that has snatched us. All sports have sportsmanship rules. But as I can understand, cricket is a way of life.
Play ball! Play ball!
Oh, gee. Keep your eye on the ball! But check this out. Let's say you run a 2, and they throw the ball, and they throw it so far and so wild that it go past the boundary. That's 4 runs for you, and you got the 2. You got the 2 and the 4, so that's the 6.
USA! Through cricket, you know, there's basically a medium where we can all be equal, and it's kind of like, you know, in prison there's big race wars between black and Mexicans, and then that sometimes it carries over to the streets. But then when people can see me kicking it with him and see that we can get along, then they realize, hey, you know, there is a possibility. And so through cricket, that's a tool, you know, that we use in order to represent, you know, the voice of peace. And it seems to be working.
So, you know, with cricket, it's like, you know, you're meeting new people, like y'all from England, right? We never met. People from England, you know, playing basketball.
Yeah.
Which we still play basketball. If you guys want to ever challenge us in basketball, we'll beat you in that too.
That's right.
You know, it's not every day you get to play against a team and then play with it. It was like playing with some stars, you know. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Playing with that talent make you play better. It brings the best out of you.
Cricket is the most non-tactile, non-violent, well-mannered, well-principled sport that teaches you the ethics of life. You know, you can't be rude to the umpire. You can't be rude to your elders. You've got to respect other people. You can't, you know, scratch your genitals in public like they do in most games, like in baseball, you know, and spit and be rude to people. You can't. It's not cricket.
I think Americans like to just attack all the time instead of just relaxing and let it come. But playing with the Cowboys, it kind of slowed me down so I could get into my pace and my rhythm. The English guys, that they would say anything. They're much bolder than Americans. Americans are a little shy with certain things, but the English guys, they're not shy at all. For example, they'll take the clothes off and change clothes right here on the field. And Americans don't do that.
What was the result?
Cricket won today.
It's a draw, an honourable draw.
It was a good game, you know. We had fun, but, you know, the only problem was our wides. We threw too many wides.
Yeah.
We'll get them next time, though, you know.
What about the result?
Well, it should have been closer. But they deserved the win, though. They did. They played better than we did.
But it was a draw.
No, they won it.
No, it was a draw.
It was a draw.
Yeah.
But they were winning more runs, so I think they won.
No, I just spoke to the captain. He said that it was a draw.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Next morning, the Cowboys visit the Dome Village, a scheme for long-term homeless people founded by Ted in the early 90s.
Over here, this first dome, over here. Come on in.
Is for people who have shunned more traditional projects and houses up to 24 people in 8 domes.
Exhibition. And over here is our kitchen facility where we cook. Everyone cooks their own food.
Back home, Evan Gibbons works for a housing association helping young people threatened with homelessness.
There are 50,000 homeless people in this small area of LA, downtown LA, 50,000 people on the streets, which is just mind-blowing, really. Given that in Bristol, I think, you know, you're in the tens, really, 40 or 50 maybe. Coming here and seeing this place really puts it into perspective. In the States, there's very little state-funded help for these people, so it needs something like this to help them out. I mean, it's only a drop in the ocean. It's only 20-something domes. But basically, they work on people's self-esteem back to the point where they can possibly go out and help themselves, which is good.
Come on, guys. Compton, guys, come over here. Come over here. Come on, back up. Come on. No, let me know back up, dude. Ricardo, come on. Joseph. Yeah, Ruben, come on, back him up.
It's like this, man. We do this for a reason. We do this to keep the peace. All right? We went from bullets to balls. From gas to bats. From the streets of concrete to grass and mats, we're playing cricket. All right? So, from bullets to balls, from gas to bats, from the streets of concrete to grass and mats, we're playing cricket. Cricket. I'm playing cricket now, so we can kick it now. Stick it out for the long haul, make a phone call to the president and then I represent my hood with this cricket ball. Now I take my Compton cricket, Compton cricket, Compton, Compton, Compton cricket, Compton cricket, Compton cricket, Compton, Compton, Compton cricket. Oh yeah.
Another day, another place, and the contrast couldn't be greater. The Cowboys take on the Beverly Hills Cricket Club, whose players all work in the film industry and live anywhere but Compton. The game, played in sweltering heat, ends in swift defeat for the Cowboys.
So that was Beverly Hills. What an unusual bunch of people they were.
What's most noticeable about today is that there hasn't really been any great bonding between the teams. There's no feeling of solidarity or anything like this. There's been a cricket match, we've lost it, but that's the way it goes. But it's not something you're really going to remember like the last 2 days.
Beaten but not defeated, the Cowboys head back to Compton and the finale of the tour.
I think overall, the initial, for me, it was actually going into Compton, going to their ground, meeting them, being welcomed by them, being amongst their community.
they have got huge difficulties in their lives, but I think, you know, we went to Compton and we were welcomed with open arms and we were treated royally and, you know, really looked after, and I'll remember it always. It was just great.
The tour has been an extraordinary success, with a genuine bond built between two communities who on the face of it share little in common except an inner city location and a love of cricket.
It will be the talk of the town for a while. I don't think that's ever quite happened. I don't think that's ever happened before, where a group of people from such far away, but from a similar place, has come to Compton. I tell our guys that you can become something in cricket, at least in this day. You can be, because you're American, because you're inner city, because you're Mexican Latinos, because you're black and you're homeless. You are the first since 1925, I teach them. You will be the fathers of the rebirth of American cricket. We've lost some of the kids over the years, but the most of them we've been able to keep. Mainly, I think, and they'll tell you themselves that if it wasn't for cricket, they'd probably be in this or that or this negative activities, gangs or whatever, or dead or in prison. If it wasn't for cricket.
These blind kids, they want to do a good life, you know. They want to change, you know. They want to change, yeah, you know.
It's really good to meet everyone, really. All the homies, and really good going on the Dome Village. I was really impressed by that.
Plans are already in place for the homies and pops to make a return visit to Bristol.
Hey, we hope y'all consider yourself as one with us. And, whoever wins, win, and whoever loses, loses. But, you know, don't feel bad. You come to America and you don't like it. But we hope to have a good game and y'all enjoy the rest of it.
Cheers.
As ever, Ted Hayes has grand ambitions.
What we could do is the same thing that we did with Belfast, is we made Compton and Belfast sister cities. We can do the same thing with Bristol. We could organize that, make Bristol and Compton sister cities. I don't know if Bristol would be too proud to be a sister city of Compton. Being that Compton's politics are so screwed up right now. It's so bad out there. And all the other negative things that come out of Compton. But then again, you got the Williams sisters out of Compton, and you got the homies and pops straight out of Compton. You know, being sister city with Bristol and Cowboys. I think that might be a good deal.